of like the
foramen.
upper
So one of the holes. But
thoracic.
which? So like a
It was like
C6
T1
or
or
like a T1.
Yeah, I think it was like T1, T2,
Everybody
somewhere around there.
does.
So
Every
like,
old person you've ever seen. How old is this guy?
yeah, of course. And this guy, yeah, exactly. Oh, he's in his 70s.
A 70-year-old is like, I have foraminal stenosis. Yeah, of course. That's crazy. I think Chase disconnected. Mick.
Yeah.
Or did I disconnect? No, there's
What the
Chase.
hell?
We're all still here.
No, we're back.
Is it me?
Chase, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I think
hear you
everyone's. I can hear everyone. Everyone's good.
Oh, nice. It's Tricky Trick.
Oh,
Tricky
weird.
Trick's here, everybody. Tricky Trick said, good morning. Been a long time since I've seen you guys. Tricky Trick from Australia. Hope everyone is well. Oh, yeah, we got
Tricky Trick.
Man, the lad.
Didn't he have like a couple of babies or something, and that's why he?
Iron Bros Australia. I gotta type in Iron Bros Australia. How are they doing? Iron Bros Australia. Is it 64 subscribers? I'm already subscribed. Sick as hell. Tricky Trick has not uploaded a video in a year. It's been a whole year.
See some progress.
What about his Instagram?
The day after the referendum, he's back. he's he's been plotting for the no side for the last 2 years. He's like, all right, it's time to.
He is Teo. Chase, do you know who Varg Vikernes is?
No.
No? Okay. All right. We got to pull a picture of Varg.
Varg?
We got to pull a picture of Varg.
Is he like a Swedish porn star?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
It's this guy. Have you seen this guy before?
He's in Vikings.
Oh, yeah. So he's like the death metal guy who fired like all the churches and shit. Yeah,
he's a Norwegian author, retired musician, black metal. In 1994, the year of my birth, he was convicted of murder and arson and then served 15 years in prison.
Yeah, I've heard of this guy.
Is this your inspo for your fits?
Shit. Yeah, like he's definitely inspiration. So like he's a black metal artist. So like, you know, over there in like Scandinavia, they're like, fuck it, like we're gonna go hardcore as fuck and let's start burning down some churches. So he burnt down some churches, and I guess he murdered someone all in the name of like black metal.
He murdered a guy named Euronymous. Chase, you got to shave your beard in dedication of Euronymous.
Fuck that guy.
All right.
Do you think they actually started when they started this kind of music? Do you think they started calling it white metal and then realized how racist that sounds? And that's why they called it black metal. Well, no one can argue with that.
I think it's because,
I do think
of the black magic associated with it. I don't know.
Even that sounds kind of racist, though.
Music that takes itself this seriously. Are you killing and murdering people? This strikes me as a rather feminine activity to be doing.
Playing music,
dude. I don't know. There was some serious shit back in the day.
Yeah. This seems very serious, Chase. This is almost 30 years ago now. This is 29 years ago. Okay, in 2009, he was collecting explosives and ammunition in order to defend Norway if we were attacked at any time. What a great guy.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a fucking...
Life after prison, writing. This is Teo's favorite author, I suppose. Author and musician. Oh, and a blogger as well. He has a blog. That's good to know.
What do you think he blogs?
All right. I don't know, man. I really don't know what he could possibly... I don't know. Prison?
Like how to make homemade explosives and shit?
He could. In any situation, everybody, we have a bunch of videos to go through today from our users. We have 10 videos to go through.
We're also streaming on Twitter as well. If people want to,
are we?
People want to watch on Twitter. Yeah, I was looking at the last week was the first time we streamed on Twitter, and it looks like it said 1,138 viewers on last week's video. What
the hell? That's totally all Russian disinformation.
Dude, weird.
Those are all bots.
We're big time.
Did I tell you guys about what happened to my Twitter account? Did I tell you about that?
No.
What happened?
This is going to be a lovely story.
So I was like, oh, you know, I had some people who I was interested in kind of reading their work. So I tried to create a Twitter account and said there was already one for my email that I use all the time. I had no idea that I had one. And then apparently, literally for the past decade, it has just been used as like a Russian and Middle Eastern, it's in Farsi, I don't know what country they're actually selling for, but just like selling things and links to things. It's just been a spam bot in the Middle East and in Russia for like a decade. I had no idea about it. So I tried, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just delete all of these tweets then, because this is insane. And then if you want to delete all of your tweets, you have to pay for it. And I was like, I'm leaving immediately. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You have to pay to delete your media. Wow.
So
No,
what
to
is your-
delete, there was like a function that was like delete all of them because there's like hundreds of them because it's just been
What
used
is
by a
your Twitter?
spam bot. I can't find. I gotta. I'll send it to you,
Yeah.
Mick, after this.
Mm.
But this is Olga KC, everybody, doing
Let's just
very.
preface this video by saying she made it a slow-mo video, not us.
Yes, we did not put it in slow mo.
No,
This is a
her
Tesla.
video.
She's an iPhone user. Certainly, we have an Apple Watch. It is good though to see some slow mo
She's
power
very
cleans.
high tech.
Yeah, because this helps us figure out if there's arm pull going on. Chase, what do you think about these cleans?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can actually play
They're
back.
not bad, but like right now, like if we could just like right here, I want the grip wider because like right now she looks exactly like how she would be like on a deadlift, which is
Right.
fine. Like her hips are in the right position as far as we can see. She's getting extension, but just the width of her arms need to be a little bit wider. So that way, here in a moment, whenever she jumps
Mm-hmm.
and she racks, so like right here, here's her jumping position. Perfect.
Mhm.
Like her arms are straight. She's shrugging. She's about to get full extension. And then now, if we play it through, the rack is just kind of slow,
Yeah.
right? And I
Let's
think
see if
it's
I
just
can
because
pause
she's all
this.
bunched up.
Right here. Okay, yeah. So even with this, the slow mo is super helpful. Okay. So we're seeing this is a double
Mhm.
overhand grip, thumb on the outside. So it's like the rack is really slow because of the double overhand grip. It's very hard to have loose hands
Mhm.
when you're doing this grip. Yeah, rack position leaves us wanting a little bit, and I think her grip is actually a little bit askew as well. It's not perfectly symmetrical. Let's see if this gets better. Also, I'm playing this now on 1.5 times speed as well. So we're not back to normal yet, but do you think the knees are straight a little bit too early on this, Chase? Are you okay with this?
I do. Like right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna cause some issues as she gets heavier, but like, and again, like you can't see like if we were to angle this camera to like the end of the bar,
Mm-hmm.
you would see kind of like maybe more of like a curvature in the bar path.
Right.
Um,
It's swooping
Especially as it gets
backwards and
heavier, it's
then
gonna be exactly.
yeah.
It's gonna be bigger issue if she's now heavier because now that rack is gonna be a little bit out in front, and she already has a hard time racking the bar with just what she's doing currently.
Mm-hmm.
So she may pull like me, where like I get dumped forward every single time by a heavy clean.
At what part do you get it dumped for? At what part do you feel it
But
trying to
also
pull
my
away from you?
it's me because like I've kind of had that issue where like my knees kind of straighten a little bit too soon because I'm overthinking about staying over the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten better, but then now what's happening is just like I'll just hang on to the bar too much instead of just releasing and shrugging a little bit sooner.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I always try to think like as I'm going through the jump point, I try to think about loosening my hands a little bit just so I can,
Mhm.
not like crank into it. Because I notice like anytime that I'm attempting to even do a little bit of arm pull to adjust where the jump position is, it just gets so much slower. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah. And so any parting thoughts for Olga here? Outside of, so we got wider grip, more knees
Hook
in the
grip.
game,
Mhm.
hook grip. Yep. Anything else?
Other than that, it looks pretty good. Other than that, like you're nailing the jump position, arms are straight. The big things that we're kind of seeing with a power clean, you've nailed that.
Okay. We got Music Soul here. Music Soul sent in a squat, a bench, and a deadlift. Which one do you want to see first, Chase?
Let's go squat.
All right. We're hitting squat first. It's a good choice. You're going to love the art on the wall, Chase.
Have they submitted before? Oh, sweet. What is that? Is that Dragon Ball? So that's Goku, and then what? Is
Maybe
that
we'll be able
Vegeta,
to
I guess,
catch it
too?
whenever he goes down. Let's see at the bottom of the squat.
So he said
Yeah.
he's taken a fair bit of time off and he's just getting back into it.
Okay.
He would like some form checks.
So he has a boxing ball here. People use this for boxing training. You kind of hit it around.
Like a speed bag? Oh,
It's
that
kind of
thing?
like a speed bag, but it just kind of pops back at you. It's like suspended by a wire on either side. We have a
Okay, gotcha.
Goku motivational poster. We have Goku here. Vegeta,
Is that
I think.
is that one of those chairs that hangs you upside down?
We do have an inversion table.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
this guy has it all.
He does have it all. Also, I think these are custom, by the way. I think he painted his plates this way.
Yeah.
You know what he doesn't? You know what he doesn't have?
What?
A girlfriend.
Damn. Did he say that in the email?
No,
Oh.
either do I though.
Is he
And
lifting
I
in
don't even
his?
like anime.
Is that like boxer briefs too?
He
Like,
is
is he
lifting
in
in
his
his
underwear?
Yeah, no, there's
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
no
fuck
girlfriend.
that dude.
He
This
is
guy
living the
has
dream, to be honest.
Whenever I had a home gym, I trained only in my underwear. Hey man, let me be honest with
Really, dude. I have one online guy that's like that too, and it's like I had to tell him, like, look,
you. Put some
I'm
fucking
not
clothes on.
watching. Yeah, I'm not watching this. Like, you're paying me to
It's
fucking
hard.
watch
It's
you.
hard
I'm
to
not
watch
watching.
this when I'm so turned on.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. My erection's making it real hard to type.
Yeah,
Mhm.
hard to give form checks when all the blood's rushing
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah, but I will say though, if someone's username is Music Soul, I would not expect this to be their setup.
No.
I wouldn't expect them
What
to
a
be a
question.
Dragon Ball, a hardcore DBZ fan who's painting their own plates in their underwear. TBH, would not expect that. All right, so it seems like we have what is this, 155, something like that on the bar.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, just 135. Excuse me. So we have just 135 in the bar. Chase, what do we do about this man's squats with absolutely no hip drive?
Oof. Yeah. So, I mean, granted, like, let's say, like, his shoulders are all fucked up. He can't get into position. Just kind of like the big parameters that
Bar's a little
everyone
high.
can really fix with the squat, and that is just leaning over and utilizing the hip drive. And then if we get those two things fixed as he's coming down and back up, like this squat's going to be probably about 95% fixed. And then we work on the bar position over a period of time, maybe some little stuff after that. But he's got to learn to kick his ass back and to put his stomach and his nipples down to the floor and hold it like that as he comes back up. So
Yeah.
in other words, he has to make his back angle constant throughout the entire squat. So that way
This
he's not
is
lifting his chest halfway up.
yeah, this is one of the fixes where it's like this can on a lot of people who you can tell, they can probably figure it out. Like he's moving this decently quickly. He can probably figure it
Yeah.
out. This takes 2 seconds if you're in person. You just hold their
Yep.
back of their neck down, and then you just pick their butt up, and then say
Yep.
that's how you get out of the bottom. Some people like to press down on the bar. I just like to, even just push down on the neck because like it takes no force at all. If you like push on the bar or press the bar down, then people, they kind of tend to shift forward, I think. But yeah, just pick his hips up for him. He would understand this in 2 seconds. The cues that I use if I'm trying to give someone just for words, I always tell them to pause at the bottom, think about where the ceiling is and where your tailbone is, and then just push your tailbone to the ceiling. That's the only thing that moves, and then you'll stand up naturally after that. It won't be super
Yep.
complicated. With tailbone to the ceiling, work on the grip position over time. Do you think you need squat shoes urgently or no?
I mean, look, this is your home
Mm.
gym. Fuck it, you can go shoeless if you want to, but
He's going shoeless
eventually
and
I would
pantless.
like to see you. Yeah, he's doing it whatever the fuck he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I would like to see you have some shoes like around like 225 or so, because I mean, you can't really see too much about like what he's doing with like the balance position in his feet. Like he's coming up, and it's just the change in the back angle that's kind of getting him off balance more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. But eventually, he may, if he doesn't figure out like the correct back angle, he's gonna fuck around with his balance point.
Okay, we got to see what pants he has on for these other ones. Is basically the next task.
Oh, so he's actually wearing
Yes.
pants now for the deadlift?
We're not sure. Okay, we're on a press now. We're on
Oh,
a
for the
press now,
press.
everybody. Here we
I
go.
thought he's got
Oh, he
shorts
has
on now.
pants on. He has shorts
Mm.
on. I think he has
Maybe they just like fell off like halfway off.
Yeah, that could be. So, time to get all fired. This is a character from the anime Fairy Tale, everybody, and he says, "Time to get all fired up." That's like the
I like his
tagline of the
climax.
character. It's smart. It's like it's just kind
Did
of
he like
commercial
draw
shelving.
those?
Are you talking about the plate storage, Chase?
Yeah, the plate racks.
No, I'm talking about like the shit on the dry erase board. Did
It's
he like
him or
draw
his
all that?
child. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. Who knows? It could be his wife. Somebody did it.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably the 5 girlfriends he has.
yeah, his harem of women did.
It's five Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm. This is a good idea for plate storage, though. You just kind of get the shelf storage from Lowe's, and you're just like, fuck it. If it falls, it falls.
Mhm.
If it breaks, it breaks. Yeah, so this press has a pretty typical issue that I'll see whenever people think too much about a vertical bar path. They'll send the hips forward, and the bar will go straight up, but it doesn't actually want to go straight up. It needs to go up and slightly back over the shoulder, and then it needs to go up. The bar path for a heavy bench turns into a J. The bar path for a press, it's kind of like half of an hourglass, if that makes sense. It's like it's up basically straight as it's passing. It's going back over the shoulder, and it's going straight again. like that. Whatever word you want to use to describe that. Whereas the bench just goes like it's like a J, back to the shoulder, and then up. So you can see it right. I'm trying to pause this one for us. Right here, yeah. So look at the air it has between his nose, and where the bar is. It's like he pressed it straight up from the origin of the bar. His bottom position was here. He pressed it straight up from there, but now this is actually just too far away. And then he kind of gets it back. He kind of shifts forward. How do you typically correct this, Chase?
What I tell people is to keep their hips in motion. So what's happening is like he'll throw his hips, but he leaves it out there. So now like the bar and where the shoulders are just kind of like misaligning. He just keeps pressing it like you were saying, right? But if he just kind of ricochets his hips back off the wall there and starts standing up with his torso, everything's going to be a little bit more aligned to where you don't have like that little hourglass thing that you were talking about with the bar path, and it's going to be a little bit more straighter.
Okay, so in an effort to get his shoulders more forward to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever cue the bar path on the press?
I will, like, bounce the bar straight down, bounce the ends of the bar, something like that. And that generally helps. But two, I think also like if his grip is a little bit narrower, that's going to help too.
Mick, what are you doing?
Standing up because my back was getting a bit sore. So
you adjusted? Is that what that motor sound was?
Yeah, it's like my desk goes.
Yeah, it sounded like you had a parade screaming in the background.
I was like, what the hell is going on? Wow, that's amazing. See, Chase, this is what we'll have. Whenever we've accumulated enough wealth over the next 3 decades, we're gonna have a desk that goes up and down.
That's so cool.
Right now, my desk is only one height.
And a car with doors that go like this that go out instead of wings. I don't have that, by the way.
Yeah, what would yours? It was the Kia what?
Serato.
The Serato. All right, so we're on to Music Soul's deadlift now. And it's really nice whenever people send in a full suite of their lifts because it kind of gives us a kind of a complete system picture. Even if people contact me for like a one-off form check and they just send me like a squat, I'm like, it would be really helpful if you sent the rest in, Chase, which one of these do you like better? Left or right? Can you see these in any detail?
I've seen the fairy tale. The one on the left.
You would not like fairy tale.
I'm gonna roll with my boy Goku.
You would not like it.
Why? No. Like, what's the premise of fairy tale?
Oh god, I remember it back in college.
Let me guess. There's a boy and a girl, and they're in high school.
No, this is not. This is a rambunctious adventurer who's secret. Let's look up the plot synopsis for fairy tale, everybody. I don't want to lie to you.
You really know we're running out of stuff to talk about. When this
has been like our anime podcast. Hell yeah, dude.
This is what Alex has always wanted for 3 years.
Oh man, right? So there's guilds of adventurers that all have magical powers, and then he's the main character in a guild.
Maybe this is how we get Rusty back. To be honest,
this could be, yeah.
Shit gets serious whenever we start talking about guilds.
Yeah, the world of Earthland is home to numerous guilds where wizards apply for their magic for paid job requests. His name is Natsu Dragneel, a dragon slayer wizard from the fairy tale.
People just walk in and say, "Chase, we're done." I'm listening to the podcast.
No, she can't. Luckily, she can't hear this shit. It's all
You're like, Chase, I'm breaking up with you.
What the fuck are we watching? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty long plot synopsis.
Well, side note, I actually made Phoebe watch. You ever seen Princess Mononoke?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, so I made Phoebe watch it, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh my god! Did you guys go to the ones in theaters? Because they've been rerunning them in theaters.
Oh no! Like we just watched it on Amazon.
Okay, so everyone in the future watching this, all 4 of you,
I feel like this should be the Strength Up podcast. Is live streaming Phoebe watching whatever dumb shit you're into, Chase. Her reactions to it,
and just like her,
yeah. But I posted the plot synopsis of Fairy Tale in the chat for everybody to read, including Chase. But yeah, so Chase, all of those Ghibli movies, they call it Ghibli Fest. I think they do it every year or every other year. They reran them in AMC theaters. So Anastasia and we watched all of them. We went to the theaters. And basically, Mick, you won't be surprised. The attendees were normally very overweight single females or very overweight single males. And there was maybe like 10% of the audience was couples like Anastasia and myself, or families with small children.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say Chase is probably the only person who has ever seen that movie who can press more than 315. Maybe even 225. Chase is probably the only person who has seen the Venn diagram of that. It's just Chase. It's just Chase there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on
Anyway,
his deadlift?
Yeah,
Here,
this poor
Chase.
guy who sat through 10 minutes of us giving him shit.
Yeah, just
For
fucking
about 20
ripping him a
seconds of
new
full
one.
chicken wise.
No, like he's definitely just squatting this thing up. He needs to go back and review the 5-step setup. Like he does kind of a somewhat good job of like his stance and like maybe the midfoot position.
He's
Or
checking the
like a
midfoot.
maybe a yeah, he's pretty good there, but then fucks it all up
It's
as soon as he
disc
drops his
motion.
ass there.
Yep.
Yeah, that right there. So he's got to stop his knees right inside of his elbows and then feel like the stretch in his hamstrings as he's setting up. So that way, like he's not going to have his knees jut forward. The bar path is now, in the more circular motion, or rather a C kind of bar path. His hips are up, his knees are out of the way, and he can effectively push better.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is where he's looking. He may be looking in the mirror because his eyes are fixated on something, and he's looking just almost straight ahead every time. So as he's pulling his face up to look straight ahead, he's losing the hip position. He's losing the knee position as well. And this is 135, 55, 65. This is 175, and it's really light for you still. So when you're at 275, you're going to notice this is an issue. And then last one for Music Soul, everybody. All right, we're on the bench now. Can't tell if he has pants on. The grip is very narrow, and we have 155 on the bar. He's doing a Clarence Kennedy bench, Chase.
Close grip.
Yeah.
Chase, have you seen Clarence bench? His very heavy bench.
I've seen him do like 180, I think, and like
it's crazy low, crazy close grip.
It's like stupid.
Yeah, sweeps back up.
No, it
That's
just looks
the
like
secret to Olympic lifting. You got to do that, Chase.
Just close grip on my belly button.
Yeah, close grip belly button bench press. Yeah.
No, he just man, I don't know where he got his knowledge of lifting from. Like, if he's read the book, then he's clearly skipped a few pages and chapters. So, like, you can go watch the videos about like where you need to simply put your hands and stuff like that. So it's just some major stuff that you're kind of
mostly
missing.
setup issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say these are like, if you fix the setup, your movement issues will likely be very fixed. They'll be fixed pretty easily.
Yeah.
So what actually needs to happen? I would widen the grip out at least 2 inches on each side as a starting point. It may need to be another inch outside of that afterwards. And then touch point wise, I say for guys normally right at their nipple or slightly above their nipple. For girls, it normally ends up being where the underwire of their bra is. That's pretty typical. And he's touching, let's see, probably 4 inches south of his nipples. So it's going to feel like
process.
It's going to feel like a totally different experience. When this happens, do you find that people typically need to deload or what?
No, like he's moving the bar very fast. Like the bar speed's fine.
Okay.
Maybe just repeat the same weights for like maybe 1 or 2 workouts, so that way you just kind of can get the positioning. But as far as like 155, taking him down to 125, no, he doesn't need to.
Yeah, bracing is good. Eyes are a little bit low, I think. Otherwise, this is a solid start. I'm not. Did he send an email in with this, Mick?
Yeah, he just said he's taken a break from lifting for a while and he's just starting to get back into it.
Okay, gotcha. Was he like, this is my, third workout back? I'm curious if he's.
No, he didn't leave that much.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll have another look.
Chase, this is for you. You can read this to your heart's content.
So this is from Tricky Trick. Yo, boys, partially working, partially watching. Chase, please don't raid my village. You look like someone who enters towns on a large horse and selects someone else's wife to take back to your settlement. Hell yeah. If only I knew how to ride a horse, though. That's my key. That's the thing I'm lacking.
That's it. The wife selection process, you probably have that down.
Yeah, I can I can learn real quick on
I'm
that
gonna
one.
real quick. So this is Hebs. This is Hebs 8002. 8002. He is in the garage.
I've got some notes for this guy.
Ooh, okay.
He said, took 6 months off lifting from some injuries, wanted deadlift with better form. Feel like I feel too much in lower back, but also my muscles aren't adapted yet. Let me know your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. He's a tall feller.
Well, yeah, he's also stiff legging the fuck out of this.
How tall do you think this gentleman is, Chase?
I don't think he's that tall.
I'm
I
gonna
think
say
he's probably about like
6'1".
maybe 6 foot. Yeah, he's probably there.
Chase,
Like,
that's
he's,
tall as hell.
I guess. But you're also like 4'11",
Yeah.
so
He's one standard
Are
deviation.
you just saying that because he looks Mexican?
Easily.
I feel like me and
Yeah.
Alex are the same height.
I'm only 5'2".
no.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, Alex is
No, in
5'10".
all honesty, Mick, I think you're probably shorter. I think you're probably shorter.
Yeah,
than
you're
we're
that.
probably
the same
5'1".
height.
Yeah.
Probably.
You're probably 5'1".
Mm. Well, I need to be close to the ground so I can scratch around for gold.
Yeah.
That's true. So you can smell
So you can
smell
get
it
through the
too.
tunnels in Palestine right now. That's what that's for. Okay, so I think he's feeling a lot of strain in his lower back is because he is. Let's see if I can just pause it. He's doing like this thing. He's lowering it with his shoulders crazy far past the bar, and he's lowering it maybe like 2 inches past the middle of his foot. Yeah, because we can even see this in this little clip right here, right there. You see how he has to shift forward to kind of catch it. That's how far forward he's going.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend starting to fix this whole issue, Chase?
Man, just to learn how to push with the feet. So like what I was gonna say too is like his knee position doesn't even change. Like even on
Right.
the way down, whenever he sets us down, his knee literally stays on that one cinder block that's on the wall for reference.
Right.
So he's got to think about pushing the floor away so that way knee extension can happen. And then lastly, just keep pushing to stand up. But he's so worried about just picking the thing up with his back instead of using the legs as the operating thing. So there's two parts that I always tell people is like separate the deadlift into two trains of thoughts. So you have your back, which is just one solid piece that can't change. So whatever position that you have it in, fixate it, right? Chest out, make an alien pop out of your chest. There's 1,000 ways to kind of to cue that position. But once you hold that, the rest is the legs. So now the second train of thought is I've got to just to mash the arch of my foot through the floor, crush bugs underneath my feet, push through the quads, something of that nature, so where I can get myself from point A to point B with a bar.
Okay, I have another good deadlift for us to watch after this. That's going to kind of round everything out. So our last gentleman, Music Soul, Anime Lover 69, he was hips way too low. He was squatting the shit out of the bar. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Hebs 80-2 over here. He is crazy stiff leg. His back is completely bent over. This back angle is just like terrible.
Yeah.
What I tell people, not an execution, like you're still keeping good back extension. That's not what I mean. In terms of how it's going to feel real rough. If it feels like your arms are entirely in front of your legs, you're too far gone. Okay, it should feel like your arms are right beside your kneecaps. I don't say beside your legs because then people drop the hips way too low, but I say make sure it feels like your arms are beside your kneecaps, and then you're good to go. That's really what you're looking for in that bottom position. And like what Chase was saying with squeezing the chest up and then driving through the floor. Yeah, I like in terms of the description of sort of, putting it into two things. It's like the upper body's not really pulling, It's like it's just staying tight. The drive's coming from your legs. How would we fix the descent?
Man, I would just make him punch it straight down over his toes, or a little bit further back, kind of like where if he was wearing a shoe, about where like the knot of the shoelace is. But what he's kind of doing is just pivoting a little bit forward
He's
to set it down, like off the yeah, exactly. So he's just gonna have to keep his ass back and just punch it straight down.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, just think like physically. Imagine if someone was behind you and they just had their hands on your hips and they're pulling your hips backwards. Their fingers are right in the crease of your hips, pulling you backwards. That's how you sit down. Like even when he sits it down, his butt barely moves backwards at all. It's just all going forward. And this is undoubtedly, 99% chance why your lower back is just perceiving so much work. It's because it's doing
just so much leverage on it.
it's doing a tremendous amount of work. Yeah, these stiff-legged variations feel a lot heavier than they actually are. And this is what, 185, 195 on the bar. Okay, that's it for Hebs. Pile. Brachioradialis pain when benching. I noticed it creeping up over time. Either goes away after a month, so I have to stop benching for some time. Send in a video. It's likely your grip, Pile. What I've noticed, and then everybody for brachioradialis, it's this guy right here. Generally what I found is that people are either torquing too much in this way, and then their hand is being pulled back like this. Okay. So sometimes I'll try to say, hey, just keep your thumb on the bar, try to straighten your wrist out a little bit. Generally that helps. Anything for this one, Chase?
We'll say that, and then if you're squatting, look at that too. So like if you
Mhm.
have a thumbs around grip too,
Yeah.
and you have too much wrist extension too, that could bother it. But yeah, more so like just the extreme pronation will get you.
Yeah. Like you want to think if you typically are doing it this way and you're noticing irritation on your grip, your hands are in like this, try to turn them out more this way, you know. And this applies for most things. If a crazy amount of back extension is hurting your back in the deadlift, try a little bit less extension, you know. On the squat, if you're really trying straight wrists and it's bugging you, try more relaxed. If this is bugging you, try more straight, you know. All right, so we got, let's see. I think this is likely a first workout here. We got a first workout from Jay Falcons. People's houses are so interesting. I feel like a peeping
They are,
tom
dude.
just looking into these people's houses. Yeah, so if you're over exaggerating this pile, that's likely where that's coming from. You know, a lot of people who do this bench grip, they kind of, I would say chances are your grip's probably a little bit narrow and you're going down almost like this, you know, kind of like a close push up. Widen the grip out a little bit, turn your hands out a little bit more. Instead of your bench being more, you know, internally rotated like this, try to get it to be more externally rotated and then see how that feels. See if it feels strong and comfortable. Confirmed. All right, so Jay Falcon's first workout. What do you think about this boy's squat?
It's a good old high bar, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Good old quads, man. Getting that quad
Are they
development
compression
going.
socks?
Probably.
Yeah, Pyle, send in a video for sure. And like Chase was saying, it's very possible it's not your bench grip and it's just the squat. I'm just assuming that you're amazing at squatting. Who knows what you're doing? And then let us know what your numbers are as well.
You have the best squat technique.
Yeah, it's Lou Xiaoxun is just benching for the first time now.
But no, like that. Yeah, he's just misinterpreting the squat, which, you know, that's why we're here to help. So this guy needs to just relax on the amount of knee bend and get his hips further behind him. Just think of it as like real simple as just pushing the tailbone back and not letting the shins change at all.
Yeah.
And just lean over.
This one would be a good use of tubo, but, you know, in the restrictive method, as in not like endorsing knee travel, but rather restricting knee travel. His knees are crazy far forward, and like this is a solid high bar squat. I would say if he wants to high bar, widen the stance out a little bit more, and then don't look down, squeeze the pecs up a little bit more. But in terms of like a stronger squat development over time, you still want to widen the stance out. That'll help reduce the knee travel, and then just think your knees are just going like an inch past your toes, and that's it. You know, hey, it's Olga. Good power clean, man. Power clean's actually really solid. Yeah, I think that test the hook grip out. The hook grip is going to take. How long did the most people take to adapt to hook grip? She had longer hands, so she seemed fine on hand.
Well, I mean, with the power clean, it's super fast because the weight is so submaximal.
Yeah.
What gets you is like people doing it on the deadlift. So like at the seminars, Rip's always like, "Oh, make sure you're pulling your heavy set of 5 with a hook grip," and no one's used to that, and then everyone's
They're
like,
like,
"Fuck, my fucking
rip my
thumbs are
hand in
just
half."
dead."
Right.
Yeah, so you got to like warm up. You got to use it on your warm ups and stuff like that. But like with the power clean, yeah, you can just jump into it and don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. So like if you're running power cleans only like once a week, kind of on off deadlift day, your power cleans are good enough and light enough that you can run them every workout. So you can just probably do them every single time and then get your hook grip practice. And then, and just for clarification, hook grip, you know, thumb inside the bad fist, the Antifa fist. That's what I've been calling hook grip recently. But you know, thumb here, you want to get nice firm contact with at least your first 2 fingers. If you do like 3 and 4 fingers, that's too much. Just 2 fingers on the thumb. Hook grip is going to help your power clean out tremendously, and then also a little bit wider. So for Jay Falcons, it's both setup and movement errors. The bar's in the wrong spot. The stance is too narrow. The toes are too straightforward. Okay. Very CrossFit-esque here. So we need the bar down, the toes out, the stance a little bit wider, and then we need him to lean over. Seeing him move, how fast would this be fixable in person, Chase?
Oh, pretty fast.
5 minutes.
Dude, it's crazy. Like whenever you paused it a second ago, like at that bottom position, like how much, what is it? That is dorsiflexion he has. Yeah, like that looks like a bendy straw, you know, like whenever like it has like the little like wrinkly top. That's what it looks like.
This is what happens to me, Chase.
That's so cool.
I have such a hard time doing the good old low bar. You know, because what ends up happening is that like I either stay way too vertical, and if I hold my knees back a little bit, I have to go so deep it's unreal. To find a stretch, then to feel a stretch in like my quads, my inner thighs, anything. It's like the shin angle is where it should be, but then my butt is 1.5 inches from the ground. It's just the curse of being half Asian, dog. It's just not good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Are you actually? I can never tell if you're joking or not.
No, my dad is pretty close from where you are, man. He's in Sumatra.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so he's just right above you guys.
Mm.
What's the average Australian's thought of Indonesia? Do they hate Indonesia? Do they care about Indonesia at all?
I mean, it's most people think about Bali when they think about Indonesia.
Okay.
That's mostly what Australians know about Indonesia. It's a place to go to get drunk. And
yeah, like from my understanding,
don't take drugs.
I don't really care, but like the Chinese, y'all can't really stand the Chinese, right?
What? A lot of people do take drugs there, and it's not smart.
Okay, that's good information. If I ever go there,
Have you not heard about Chappelle Corby? They're not make news over there.
Chappelle Corby.
Corby, yes. She went to Bali and she took we call them boogie boards here. You guys probably call them something else. You guys probably call it a bodyboard. A bodyboard case full of weed, and obviously got caught on entry. And then she ended up doing 23 years in a Bali jail. And she claimed the whole time that it wasn't her. And she reckons, I don't know, there was like all these theories floating around that it was her brothers that put it all in there and sent her on her way and yada yada. So,
is there a documentary about this one?
Oh yeah. Oh,
nice.
You name it, it's out there.
Oh, Chase, I got to send you the documentaries I watched about Outback Australia. It's so depressing. It seems like it's just like kind of a Rust Belt town in America that is very destitute. That's what Outback Australia is like.
Yeah, Chase seems like he's super interested in it.
It's true.
That's your next movie to watch with Phoebe.
It's just
Wichita Falls is paradise compared to
yeah, that's what it seems like, frankly. It's like Chase. So Wichita Falls over the train tracks, but just 8 times worse.
Yeah.
Chase, we can't hear you. Yo, you're coming in late, Chase. You're laughing very late.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just
a little
am I good
delayed.
now?
Video
am
and audio is.
Am I on sync?
Yeah, I think it's better.
Why in the fuck am I
syncing
retarded now? Am I good?
I don't know, man. It's the Wichita Falls coming out here. Yeah.
See, now you are.
But we have Milinchicks here. We got 455, 475 on the bar from slightly below the knee. Mick, have you been watching Milinchicks deadlift?
He's rack pull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you been watching him rack pull?
A little bit. Why?
What are your thoughts?
Play it again. I was actually emailing him while this was all going on to let him know that we're reviewing it.
You're like, listen, someone who's not me is looking at this right now.
Are you actually waiting for me, or?
Yeah, of course I'm waiting for you,
the spotlight's on you, man.
No, man, I'm not doing these.
Oh, you're the big head now, Mick. I think he's getting a little bit on the heels, which I don't like. I think rep 1 was really solid.
I don't know, man. I want him to scoot back a little bit from the bar. Like the shin angles just seem way too vertical.
Like here. Yeah, this is what that's totally agreed. Yeah. Like you need to have your knees in the game a little bit. Like by this point in the deadlift, your knees, you would be shifted forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you think this is a byproduct of his setup distance, or do you think he's just drifted the whole thing back? Why do you think this is happening?
Yeah, it's definitely the former. Like whenever he sets up, especially on this.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning then. Okay, so he starts this is his rep 1 setup right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like his shins are too vertical. He's already like in his heels a little bit.
Yeah.
And just you have to have some amount of quad into it to start the push, right? There is
Mm-hmm.
some knee extension, even with a high rack pull, except like maybe if it was like in the jump position. But even then, like your knees are still rebent a little bit
Yeah.
in that position. So you've got to think of it as like I still got to push with my quads and my knees still. So just scoot
Mm-hmm.
back just a little bit, like half an inch or maybe even a little bit less, and this will be totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, like this position, rep 3 especially, this is just crazy behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy on the heels here. This will feel a lot easier. And then mechanically what happens is that when you're in this position, you can't really keep good back extension because that would almost force to push you over the toes, and it's going to be easier to pull backwards and forwards at this point. So then you're losing that back extension as you're already more fatigued. It's just kind of, I found that this sort of rack pull, this does not carry over well at deadlifting even because the positions are just so weird. You
Yeah.
never get in this position when you're deadlifting. It's just good to help feel out a heavy weight so that, confidence wise, when you take it off the floor, it's not totally unfamiliar. Let's say just even this rack pull height chase. When you start someone off on rack pulls, typically where do you like to be height wise?
About right there. So like if everyone can feel like right on like their shin, like the bone that everyone kind of like bumps on, like like on furniture and shit. I call it like the furniture
Mm-hmm.
bone type thing, but it's the tibial tuberosity, that bony process right on the front part of your shin, generally about right there or just below that. And again, like I've kind of dabbled a little bit with like going a little bit lower, but at that point, it's basically just a deadlift. So you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start it about right there, so that way you're overlapping the range of motion if you're doing haltings as well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like
And then let's also say, even for a halting, where do you like to cut your haltings off at?
I like to do it like right above the kneecap or about like
Halting goes above the kneecap,
mhm.
or where? Okay,
So like
interesting.
just above the kneecap or like maybe about 2 inches above that. So like right where about like the quad tendon is, right?
Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I tried haltings.
Oh, they're great. I
Um,
love them.
I feel like if I'm doing a halting, I just want to do like a high pull or something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then just like, fuck it, put a little bit lighter in the bar. Um, all right. So that was Milinchik's. That was Olga. Okay. Let's go for a heavy deadlift here. And then this will be good to sort of round off our this accidentally turned into a deadlift mechanics show. Hopefully we'll retitle it and then trim out all the bullshit. Um,
We're gonna leave the anime stuff
Who's
in there,
this?
right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is one of my boys here, Nathan. He's having an interesting time. He always pulled in flats. He's recently started pulling in some squat shoes. He's kind of cycling back. We're still trying to dial that in. 525 on the bar. He's a BJJ guy and a fireman. And
A
I
real
think
man.
it's too much knees off the floor. It's too much knees off the floor for
Yeah.
me. I would like to see them get a little bit straight a little bit earlier, and then we can relate this back to our Hebs and Music Souls deadlift and see kind of where we're going with this. So Chase, what are your initial thoughts on this?
Yeah, it just looks like he's still wanting to start it with like some hip extension. Like his knees really don't really do anything right off the start. I want to see
They
him.
stay like anchored, and it's
Yeah,
like the torso's cranking back.
exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not bad because like it stays that way for like a quarter of a second, and then he gets out of it, but
Mm-hmm.
just needs to get a little bit more leg drive into it. Like he looks like in the right position with his shins close enough to the bar. Um, like right there, he's a
Yeah.
little
Let's
bit into
freeze
his
right at the bottom.
heels.
Okay, so this is a frozen bottom position.
Hmm.
Mick, what are your thoughts?
Looks good.
Wrong.
Bum, bum.
Chase, what's wrong?
His hip height, man. So like you can see his knees jut a little bit forward of his elbow. So
Yep, just a tad
if he
forward.
raises hips up like another 2 inches or so,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna feel more into the midfoot because like right there he's a little bit on his heels and his toes just mashed down.
Yeah, so this is now when the slack is out of the bar.
Hmm.
So there's the exterior plate. He may have like a millimeter of lift on the whole bar right now.
Hmm.
But even if we just look at the difference between this hip height, we'll just go back to down. It's low, and then whoop, now the slack's been pulled out of it. So it's a subtle difference, dear viewers at home.
Hmm.
But this is where you need to be. This is where you should be starting, and we'll see what the differences are for rep 2 and rep 3. Rep 2 is better on hip height for sure.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this position, Chase?
I'd say that is the right position. But I would still like to have his hips a little bit higher at the start. Um, he just has some long ass arms too, man. That helps him.
He does. Yeah. Yeah, I finish my deadlifts like at my belly button, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wish I had these. I wish I had these arms.
Have you tried modifying like his heels, the distance in between his heels, like kicking them in or anything like that?
I haven't really needed to so far,
Gotcha.
frankly. You know what I mean? Mostly right now, I think, a lot of the programming challenges is balancing his work
Yeah, I bet.
with
With
sports
jiu-jitsu and
practice,
stuff
because he's
like
still
that?
doing BJJ and kickboxing and things like that.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And then this was supposed to be, I think this was supposed to be, he was doing ascending triples. The last triple was supposed to be a 1 rep in reserve. And then I told him, I was like, you probably could have done this for like another 3, dude.
Yeah, this looks really easy.
And he was like, I think that was about 1 rep in reserve. I was like, that was not 1
No.
rep in reserve. You got a little bit more gas to step on. Yeah, so this pattern, this sort of deadlift, it's not exactly like Music Soul's. Music Soul was dropping the hips way too low and was getting it off the ground with knee extension. So he was squatting the bar up. Okay. Heb's, on the other hand, was hips way too high. He had no quad involvement at all. It's like his quads have been torn off and he's trying to figure out how to deadlift. Nathan here is kind of in this middle point where the hips are a little bit low, but he's not exactly getting the bar off the ground with knee extension. So he's kind of anchored his legs in this position, which lowers the hips, and then he's pulling the chest up around that. If you have someone trending in a direction, if you have to say, because he's kind of, let's say, right in the middle, we have Hebs on one side, Music Soul on the other side, where do you kind of want him to go? Which one do you find preferable? Which one do you find the worst out of all the options?
I would like to lean him a little bit closer towards to Hebs, just like with a little bit of a higher hip position, but like which one would I rather see someone do in case of like, being injured or non-injured or just like longevity in the lift? Probably more so Music Souls, because what's going to happen is the weight at some point is going to make him get into the proper position before it breaks off the floor, right? Whereas like Hebs is just like fucking all leverage on the back. He's going to tweak something within the next 20 pounds. And he's going to be like, all right, that's where I'm going to take another month off of deadlifting and then go back at it again.
Exactly. And I bet if we asked Music Soul about his lower back in the deadlift, he would be like, what?
Yeah. He's like, it feels fine. Yeah.
He'd be like, it's not even on his radar outside of setting it. Yeah, in terms of the error that is most typical, the Heb style of error is actually decently rare. It's rare to see just someone in the wild doing that, unless they're like intentionally trying to do a stiff legged deadlift. Most people will lean on the Heb side of deadlifting, and it will kind of fix itself over time. What Nathan is doing here is kind of in the middle. It's not super common, not the most common one. Let's see. Did we do Hebs, Jelkins, Music Soul?
I think Zhao Lu.
Oh, we got one more. Yeah, we got Zool.
I think it's Zhao Lu from China.
Oh, you think so?
Not the guy from the Ghostbusters?
Is the app in China, Mick?
I don't know. I mean, this guy's email address is QQ.
Dude, he's at the Guangzhou Fitness Studio.
There you go.
That's sick as hell.
There's no way he's going to be able to watch this form check. So this is kind of pointless.
He doesn't have enough
access external YouTube, right?
Yeah, he has no social credit.
No
His
idea.
social credit's not enough right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Mick, do you know what VPN usage is like in China? There are ways, right?
How the hell would I know that?
Come on, you're right there, man.
Mick, don't you speak Mandarin too?
Nah. Well, probably will need to one day, but not yet.
Okay, so I mean, hey, he submitted it somehow. He's on the email.
Yeah,
list,
I emailed the guy and I said it's there. If he can get it, good luck to your son.
He's probably a politician. He has all the shit that's free.
Probably.
He's cool.
The upper crust. I do love this though. Do you guys see how many Chinese flags are in this right now?
I'm just looking at all the dumbbells on the floor. It's like, put your damn dumbbells away. What's going on?
Nah. Hey, if you can afford time to get out of the factory to be lifting weights, you're not cleaning shit up.
Fuck no.
That's for someone with a shitty social credit score to come in.
Exactly.
This guy's not working in no factory.
Fuck no, he's a politician, I bet.
Yeah, he's some big wig.
He's in the bureaucrat class.
Yeah, look at that gut hanging over the belt. There's no way he's working 17 hours a day in a factory and eating a bowl of rice.
I really do want a pen pal from China. I have pen pals in the Middle East and in Europe and in South America, and I just like to ask them things. I ask them things.
No one's had a pen pal for 50 years.
I have pen pals.
Oh my god!
How did you meet people to become?
Normally,
pen
they're just
pals?
clients or people that I've met from
Okay,
judo,
okay.
and I'll keep in touch with them,
You
and then
write
I'll be
them
like,
physical letters with a stamp.
no, I write them emails, and I'm
Oh,
like, hey,
okay.
what
So
the
you write
hell's going on?
emails to people. Okay.
As soon as everything was going down, I pull up my messages with my Saudi Arabian clients from the kingdom, and I'm like, "What's going on, boys? Like, what are you guys doing?"
So you're just collecting people from just various dictatorship and communist countries around the world.
Yeah, I just want an information network. If I could be friends with Zhao Lu, that would be amazing. I'd love that so
That is
much.
cool.
I have so many questions about what's
Look,
going on in China. I
if
feel like you guys
Zhao's
have
watching,
questions.
You're
yeah.
like
I'm sure
going
you're
through
gonna
like
get straight
a
answers from
side
this guy.
quest shit. Like all you need now is like
Yeah.
a North Korean as a pen pal, and you'll have it all.
Oh, that's the dream. That's
Yeah,
the
that's like
Dream
that's
is to
the
go to North
unicorn.
Korea.
Yeah. All right, so we got Zhao Lu's squat. Surprisingly, the Chinese guy doesn't have the best high bar that we've seen today.
That is, yeah.
That is surprising. How would you fix Zhao Lu's squat, Chase?
So he's getting into his knees a little bit into the bottom. His hips and knees need to bend at the same time, and then he needs to stop his knees right over his toes. And then the rest of the movement is him sitting back into his hips at the end. So what I like to think about is like he's just anchoring his knees, and now he's stretching the hamstrings back at the very bottom. And now that's going to produce his back angle to be a little bit more horizontal than what he's normally used to. So you're going to see about like a 5-degree change or even a little bit more in that instance.
I'm really trying to figure out where his gym is at.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Did
right
you
now.
Google it?
Yeah, we're all looking for where's the Guangzhou? Because it could be in Shenzhen.
Where is Guangzhou even?
Guangzhou Fitness Studio.
I get some
Let's
table
actually-
tennis player when I.
Yeah, Mick, if you ever are in America, please let me know so we can play some ping pong together, some table tennis.
I will destroy you.
Probably not.
Really?
Just on raw athleticism alone. I think I got it.
Yeah, if the game goes longer than about 8 minutes, you probably got me.
Do you think the bar's probably in the right spot, Chase, with this?
Probably not. It's
You think it's a little bit high?
I would think it's a little bit high. I would say like it's right on like the spine of the scapula at best if it's the lowest position, and then he's probably more so on the traps and stuff like that. But it definitely could probably be modified to be a little bit lower, and you can kind of see that too with like the bar kind of rolling a little bit as he's coming back up out of the bottom. It's just kind of drifting a little bit. So it's not in a stable enough position on the back.
Yeah, you can see it drifting up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look up Fitness Studio.
Yeah, no, I really can't
Jian
find this
Shen
place.
Chi.
I feel like this bloke would probably both beat us in table tennis, though.
No way.
Dude.
Mick, I think you just are greatly underestimating my powers.
I think you say I underestimate my own powers.
When's the last time you played a competitive game?
You mean an actual competition game or an actual?
Like any sort of competitive.
Probably,
let's say a competitive game.
I would say 3 months ago. No, less than that. Probably, I'd say 6 weeks ago.
Damn,
Jesus,
really?
so
What
you're
are you
just
doing
like
6 weeks ago.
you just
Yeah,
said like a
getting,
table outside on the street. And
No,
you're just
no.
fucking
My
battling
dad's
people?
like ranked in Australia. In his
Damn, dude.
over 70s. So he plays. He's a big time table tennis guy. So I play
Was
with
he
him
ranked?
sometimes. Oh, he's in the top 5 in Australia for his age.
Dude, that's cool as fuck.
Dude, that's sick as hell.
Yeah.
No, I'm close. I found a directory of Chinese gyms.
Just type in those Chinese letters in that you can see there.
Just type in your Chinese letters. God, I hate the Australians so much. All right, so we're in Guangzhou, which is the city.
No, it's
But the
Guangzhou. It's
Yeah, but the
Guangzhou.
pinyin that they change it to is Guangzhou, but in here we call it Guangzhou.
I don't know about that.
Submitted by merchants, Guangzhou Gym. All right, everybody, for the dear viewers of this. Oh, hi guys, Silverhand. You're here right in the last 2 minutes of the show. Sorry, buddy.
So it's saying it's in Guangzhou, Wuzhou.
Guangzhou. I'm gonna ask my wife. She'll probably go figure it out. She has access to the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
situation. Chase, when's your next starting strength event thing that you're doing?
I don't know. Hopefully I get on the December seminar or like the February
Okay.
one.
Would you guys do them through the holidays? Yeah, you guys do it December, right?
Yeah, it's the first weekend of December, so like the 8th through the 10th or something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and then I think starting next year I have to audit one of them in
Sweet.
early next year. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna politely beg whoever I have to beg and be like, can I do it after February? Because I went there last time. I brought like one hoodie, totally unprepared.
Oh
It
yeah,
was fucking
February is
freezing.
fucking cold, man.
It's fucking freezing. I was in a little Nissan Juke sliding around the ice. I
Yeah.
got in late. It was terrible
Yeah.
all around. Yeah, I think I'm gonna aim for March or April. I think is the goal.
No, they don't have one in March. It'll be
They have one in
February,
March.
April. It's every other month. So
Okay, so maybe April
it'll
then.
be February and then April and then June. June,
Okay.
you'll be fine. You'll be hot as fuck.
Right. I
August will be
think
hot as
April's then
fuck.
that's the move because I don't do well either in the extreme heat or cold.
Texas is horrible for about 11 months of the year. Texas is
11
just
months of the
absolutely
year.
horrible. It's just
Yeah.
There's 1 month where
What's
it's
the
nice.
good month? What's the one good month?
It's going to be like
Well, you have
April.
2 weeks out of the spring that are really nice. It just like is randomly
Okay.
2 weeks. And then in
Okay.
the fall, that's 2 weeks that is randomly nice. And then it just goes fucking cold and then fucking hot.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna try to avoid the hot and the cold. Yeah, April's the move then. I'm gonna try. I'll see you in April, Chase.
Hell yeah.
Any parting shots for the people here?
No.
Mick, do you have anything you want to say?
No, all good. Just don't
We should
contact,
say at
don't
the
contact me
beginning
for
of the
any
show.
reason ever. Any of you.
Don't try to dox Mick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should put it at the front of the show if we can go back and edit it in. And saying to send in videos. Send in videos to the show. Support at strength.club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mick, are you gonna do
Twitter as
another
well.
email?
What?
Should I start shitposting on Twitter for the official Strength Club account?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, give me the credentials. Chase, do you want to shitpost on Twitter with me?
I don't have Twitter.
You don't have Twitter, but you
What-
could
what
get
do you
one
want?
and
What
use
do
the
you
Strength
use?
Club
How
account.
do you stay in touch with the world, Chase?
Yeah,
Dude, I
pen
don't know.
pals. Yeah, he writes letters.
Starting
to-
strength forums.
Yeah.
Chase, I did have a question I wanted to ask you.
So-
Have you ever done javelin or discus or shot put before?
I did in junior high. I did discus and I almost killed several people because our coach at the time was a fucking
You just
retard.
wanged it to the side,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's just
threw it
like,
into
I'll see
Oklahoma.
how like you spin, and he's like, I want y'all to try it instead of just like teaching us like simple shit of like just like stand in place, throw it, and stuff like that. He's like,
Right.
you should try spinning, and you should try figuring out which hand to throw. So he's like, throw left-handed. I'm like, well, coach, I throw right-handed. He's like, no, I should try it. So like I'm over there, I'm like twisting. I'm about to release. I just see like fucking kids all across the horizon. I'm like, nope, do another spin and just like threw it in the ground. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I drove past a bunch of people throwing discus, and I was like, you know what adult hobby I should pick up?
Discus, dude.
Discus or shot
cool,
put or
mate.
javelin. It just looks so cool.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. Yeah. Do you know anything about these? Do you know if Rip knows anything about these? Do you know if we have
Yeah,
any
he
track
does. I
people
mean-
in starting strength coaches?
Oh,
Do
no,
we have any track coaches?
I don't know. But I'm sure Ripito has some connections.
Okay.
Like I don't know like how you go about, like I'm sure like if you Google something like, hey, can I hire like an online coach for fucking discus, you can get
Mhm. Yeah. Online discus coaching for
Oh,
adults.
dude, yeah. I'm
For
sure.
4 people.
It says you in the middle of a fucking park with a
This is going to be
tripod.
you. This is going to be
Go
your
with
new. This is going to be your new pen pal from Romania, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Hungary or
my
somewhere like
Romanian
that.
pen pal.
Bulgaria. Like, where are the best discus throwers from?
Not enough effort,
Yeah.
Alex. Need to throw harder.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, there's no way, there's no like adult track clubs in America
No. I don't
or
think there
field.
is.
Excuse me, field.
Or
There's no
anywhere.
way. I think is a 28-year-old you can just go to like a local high school and be
Look,
like, would you guys
yeah.
mind if I sit in on the discus
Yeah,
thing?
go ahead and do some hurdles with y'all.
They'll be like, get the fuck out. Are you gonna shoot up the school or take a child? Yeah, I got to figure out how to get into those things. That's I think the next, because now that it's not brutally hot down here, it's like a nice 60 degrees outside.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, I can spend all day outside. This is fine.
Why would
Yeah.
you want to do that?
I'm not sure though if I want to do. I need to
Crazy
get
talk.
vitamin D for my skin.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chase, which one do you think is the most reasonable or practical to get into
Man, the
out of the three?
shot's gonna be hard because you're just
The twink? You
yeah,
can say it, Chase.
you're not big enough for it. But dude, I think the discus would be fun if you can get a hammer.
Discus?
Try to get a hammer too.
Hammer throw?
You never
What
seen
are
a hammer?
those?
It's the one that has like the ball and the chain, and they just fucking like whip it around.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
dude, it's cool as fuck. You would literally have to be like in the middle of a field though somewhere because you're gonna kill someone's small child playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel safe doing this.
Fuck no,
Not
but
with those cages, because I would totally
oh, dude,
accidentally
it'd be
kill
so
my
cool.
dog.
Like you literally just like
Yeah.
walk out in the middle of a park and everyone's like, "What the fuck is this guy doing with this?" Yeah, this cannonball.
Well, you come
That's
to
what I was thinking.
Australia.
I was like,
Come to Australia and,
I was
and
like javelin.
toss a boomerang.
Yeah, you can do the
I
boomerang.
don't think they have competitive distance boomerang.
I think they do.
They do.
Yeah,
competitive.
it's just not super popular. We also have wood chopping as well. That's an event out here.
Oh, like lumberjack shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I'll watch this afterwards. I found a YouTube channel called Trans World Sport. I hope they're probably regretting their name.
No, they're probably not. They've
and
probably
it's
got 50 million subscribers now.
Oh my
We're all
God.
very disappointed at the content.
Trans World Sports, everybody. All right, it starts with some guy playing a didgeridoo. You can't hear this. Oh, it's a French guy. It's a French
Oh,
man.
dude, he's
playing a didgeridoo.
appropriating your culture like that, Mick.
Oh,
He
no,
is.
how dare he?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh,
you got to hit the blow up kangaroo.
oh,
Oh,
he
good
just
shot.
beamed that kangaroo.
Yeah, I feel like this is all extremely dangerous.
Yeah, no, this is not. They're just weapons. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, exactly.
Okay, we got
Like, yeah,
three-sided,
real ones don't
four-sided
return to
boomerang.
you. Like they fucking hit something and they come back, or they don't come back.
That's you throwing anything, Mick.
Yeah,
This is you.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
But I was thinking about what's the safest throwing sport to get into. And I was thinking it was the javelin because there's no spinning involved. Everything else has spinning.
Dude, you're gonna rupture a fucking hamstring trying to throw a javelin. Have you seen that?
I just tore my I just partially tore my hamstring last weekend, Chase.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I got a bunch of bruising on it.
Which man were you fighting that did that to you?
His name is Alfred. He is a half black guy. It's crazy. He's a half black guy from Ukraine. And then he has won the U.S. Open, U.S. Nationals, and then I think 2 Sambo Pan Am or World Cups as well. He's crazy good grappler. He's a 90 kilo guy. He's about 10 kilos heavier than I am.
And he just grabbed your hamstring and just pulled it off, yanked it off the bone.
No, he hit me with an Uchimata. I'll show you guys what Uchimata is. Yeah, so he did this throw to me.
God damn.
Did you also land on your head?
I did not land on my head. I actually squirreled out of it. And then what happened is that like my supporting leg got stuck on the ground. And then that supporting leg, that was the hamstring that got torn. So he tried to hit me with an Uchimata, and I just felt a tear in my hamstring, and I was like, that's not going to be good.
God damn.
It's not going to be good, boys.
Oof.
But yeah, it's an amazing one. Mick, you could start doing this as your sport. I always like my athletes to do sports. You can do this.
Well, 1, I'm not an athlete. 2, I don't play sports.
You're a descendant from an athlete. Don't even lie.
Yeah, you can start.
Have athletic
Yeah,
genes.
it would be
zero.
I've been trying to convince
athletic
Mick
genes
to do cardio, and I was like, Mick, ping pong's great cardio. You can
it is actually. I actually like ping pong.
Yeah. Well, could you have a local ping pong club? Could you do
do
that as your cardio?
Sure.
Yeah,
but I probably
amazing.
won't. But I mean, there is.
You're like, I could, but I won't.
I could do anything. I could do this. I could do judo.
Chase, have you played ping pong? Are you good at ping pong, Chase?
Man, I've only fucked around with it like at people's houses, not like being real competitive with it or anything like that. But
right,
I can. It's just cutting back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great for the quads. You could develop sick knee tendonitis by just
no.
aggressively ping ponging. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Anything else, Chase, Mick?
No, I'm good.